Your mama sure does care about your schooling, son.
City boy, city boy. Bring it on.
It's false. It's false. It's false. It's false. It's false.
Beats Planet.
Lombardi is prime. We on time. And I just went Ricky Ruler with the Jew. Come on, man. First and foremost, shouts out to y'all for tuning in. Shouts out to all the essential workers at the Blue Flame, man. We just couldn't do it without you. We couldn't get it done without you, you know? I just want to give my thanks. I just want to say I appreciate you. It's a very thankless job, you know? Sometimes you gotta reach out to people that do thankless jobs and thank them. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Another sad day in the neighborhood, man. Not a sad day in the neighborhood, man. Will Steele just want me out in these streets by myself, dog. That wasn't even Don DeMarco. I mean, I should have said. Thought I should have did. Will Steele want me out here by myself, but it's all right. It's all right. The one thing I always say, and I'll never cease saying it, spaghetti is aside. And before I worked at the Volume, I was indeed a YouTuber. All right? So we'll get this done today. Shouts out to my man Will Steele, though, man. We're going to give him an early vacation. Mind y'all, we're not going live tomorrow. We're taking a vacation. We're not going live next week because we'll be taking vacation. I'll be dropping, films throughout the week or whatever, different little pieces of content throughout the week. But we will not have a live stream next week, so I just want to keep y'all aware of that housekeeping. We will be going live on the Patreon all week. We'll be getting long episodes on the Patreon because shit, we ain't got volume to go live on. So patreon.com/Voch Lombardi is where we watch the film as a whole. So, you may get the highlights on YouTube. You may get a couple of clips on the Twitter situation. I'll be dropping it on the Twitter situation soon. We got a film series that we dropping on Twitter. That's going to be cool. But if you want the full film session, that's twitch.tv. That's patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. Twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi is my non-football platform. We play Hogwarts Legacy over there. We're going to be doing a bunch of that starting today all the way through the weekend. So y'all please stay tuned for that. Tamara in the chat says, every time you own time, Sky is gone. I'm Voch Lombardi, by the way.
AKA Ferrari.
I appreciate y'all for being here, man. Follow me on Twitter, VOCHLOMBARDI. And even though my point guard is not here, y'all still follow him on his socials as well. Skywalker Steele, Skywalker, STEELE. And check him out at A to Z Dallas in the morning. Okay, 8:15 to 8:30 or so. He'll take you to about 10:30. Then go watch Law. When Law is done, come watch Volume. That's almost how this setup is. What we got for y'all today? Y'all know Tuesdays and Thursdays are draft talk days. They're all 32 draft days, but I want to go over mock drafts. I want to always get an idea of these mock drafts and where these players are being placed. Actually, chat, I got a theory. Let me just get a little bit of talk music here. I got a theory, chat. I thought I was damn brilliant when I thought of this, but just peep this out. Ever since I became draft guy, I've been incredibly critical of Mel Kiper Jr. I don't know his daddy. I don't know senior. I'm just going to call him Mel. Incredibly critical. I know that the draft community is incredibly critical of Mel Kiper and some of the thoughts and opinions that he says, right? I got a theory, chat. You know, there's a difference between media scouts and like scout, right? Like when we come together, we watch these films, you talk to me, these Footster Kings, guys like that. Like we scout. But then you got these media scouts, and their job is to report what teams have been saying, right? Their job is to report what they've been hearing from these teams. Chat, if Mel Kiper's job is to report what he's been hearing from these teams, is Mel Kiper trash? Or do teams suck at drafting? I'm just curious, man. What's my man that was in the draft with Cam Newton? It wasn't Kellen Clemens. What was his name? What's the boy name? Jimmy Clausen, right? Boy, Mel Kiper damn near bet his house on that shit. Then he said, "Hey man, look, if Cam Newton have a better career than Jimmy Clausen, I'm quitting." Why would you think Mel Kiper said that? If Mel Kiper really watched the film, why do you think Mel Kiper said that? Some team that sucks at drafting said that, right? And I was just thinking about this as it wasn't Ponder, it was Clausen. And I was just looking at different mock drafts, right? And I was just running across Mel's mock draft. Mel is only saying this shit. He's only bringing up these certain particular names. It's interesting, the particular names that'll come up, right? It won't always be a big star name, but he'll be like, hey, look out for this player that could do something. Because he heard somebody say that before. He's heard somebody say that before. And I go, Maybe you not trash. Maybe it's just them that's feeding you this information that's making you look trash, okay? Hang tight, chat. We gonna tie this up in a big bone. We gonna get into this mock draft and give some analysis, right? I promise I didn't cheat on this Daniel Jeremiah reaction joint. Somebody tapped me on the shoulder and said, Voch, you might want to take a look at this Daniel Jeremiah 2.0 joint. It got some interesting things in it. I say, cool. Voch Lombardi likes interesting things. I love to break down a mock draft and point and laugh, right? But we know Daniel Jeremiah, he's come out and he's admitted this, right? Daniel Jeremiah comes out and says, he said, hey man, I watch film. If you want to know what I think of a player, look at my big board. If you want to know what I've been hearing, look at my mock drafts. And some interesting things have taken place in this mock draft. And we're going to cross that bridge in 10 seconds. 8, 3, 2, 1, here we go. Let's get into this mock draft, man. Like I said, I didn't cheat for real. Like I didn't like sneak out at 3 a.m. and cheat. I just saw like a couple of picks. It's like a small cheat. That's like, I just sent a dirty text to one of my coworkers or something. It's kind of like one of them cheatings. It ain't like I full blown snuck out of the house and got somebody pregnant cheat, right? I did look at a couple of these picks. And while I go down these picks, I just want to present to you, I just showed y'all right there. As I go down these picks, I just want to present, some questions and some thought processes, right? Maybe some different options for some of these picks. I think that'll be a cool thing to do. The first thing that kind of popped up in my mind as I walked down memory lane with this mock draft, right, is cool. Jalen Carter's the first player off the board. Cool, fine, no problem. Jalen Carter, best player in the draft. Cool, fine. I did a poll on Twitter. Y'all can go find that over on Twitter /Voch Lombardi, just Voch Lombardi on Twitter. And I made this poll with 4 players on it. I said, who's the best player out of these prospects, right? Or who's the best prospect of these 4 players, basically, right? If you had these 4 players on the board, who you taking first? Jalen Carter, Will Anderson, Travon Walker, and Aiden Hutchinson. I'm gonna ask the chat this now. We're gonna move down this thing. I'm gonna ask the chat now, and I'm gonna look on the chat to kind of see what y'all say. I would love for y'all to react to this, but this draft in particular that they say is not very top heavy, this draft in particular that they say is not very good, I just decided to put the top few non-quarterback guys in there, right? So from this draft, Jalen Carter and Will Anderson. From last draft, I decided to put Aiden Hutchinson and Travon Walker. And I thought it was a pretty interesting set of results because, with this draft, there's a lot of people that'll swear that Will Anderson's the number 1 guy, and there are some people that say Jalen's the number 1 guy, right? It's almost 50-50 with this year. But last year, I don't think a soul thought that Travon Walker was the best player in the draft or the number 1 non-quarterback pick or anything like that, and that most people thought that Aiden Hutchinson was a better guy. But when you put those 4 players together, it was Jalen Carter was the first guy, then Will Anderson and Aiden Hutchinson was close, but then you had our guy Travon Walker down there with like 2 votes. Those were Jags fans that just voted that. Long story short, I said that to say Jalen Carter might be the best player of the last 2 drafts or the last 3 drafts if you want to put it all together like that. So let me ask you this question, chat. There's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of conversation, a lot of heat in the street about should the Bears trade back, right? And of course, if you're the Bears, you don't want to get too cute and trade too far back to where you're out of range from elite players. There's a very thin line between Jalen Carter and Will Anderson, and it's the thin ass line. And on the other side of that is Peter Skoronski and Miles Murphy. You know what I'm saying? So if you're the Bears, yes, you could get multiple picks, man, but in real life, you really don't want to get cute. You might want to take the best player and move on with your life, right? So now you the Bears, you got a couple options. I was just thinking about these options as Bears guys, right? Do you just take the best player in the draft? And this best player in this draft, in my personal opinion, also, this best player in the draft has been the best player of the past 2 or 3 drafts, right? The Bears, do you take the best player in the draft? Do you trade back, possibly lose Jalen Carter, and get picks? But then I thought about this, and I would love to hear y'all thoughts on this, chat. I just want to hear y'all's thoughts on this. Do you hold on to that number 1 overall pick? Don't draft Jalen Carter. Let's just say you trade, what's his name? Justin Fields. Let's say you trade Justin Fields. Get a whole bunch of picks for him. And draft Bryce Young or something. You know what I'm saying? I just, is that an option? And I say this because I think this is an interesting conversation, because if you are the Bears and, you just doing your evaluation, you at the top of the draft, you looking at your guys, man, there are 2 things you need to think about. Do I like the prospect of Bryce Young more than what I have with Justin Fields right now? Or how many picks can I get back from Justin Fields? Because it's not like the Bears roster is loaded or anything like that, right? So even if you bring back Justin Fields, you add the best defensive player in the draft, I mean, you still need some other miscellaneous help for your quarterback that you're trying to develop. But Justin Fields put up a pretty good season now, and pretty good is some goddamn quotes on that because you still the first overall pick, right? But Justin Fields had a solid of enough season to where you can call around to, let's just say, the Washington Football Wizards, right? You call the Washington Football Wizards and say, hey, man, I got Justin Fields. Send me some picks and I'll send you Justin Fields, and I'll just go ahead and take Bryce Young right here. Chat, if you the Bears, what you doing right here? What you doing right here? In real life, what Voch would do, I'm not getting too cute. I'll just take Jalen Carter and move on my life. And I promise we're not going to spend this much time on every pick, because every pick ain't worth talking about. I just thought about this one time. If you the Bears, right, do you just get the best dude in the draft and just move on with your life? Or do you try to finagle, get another quarterback that you feel really good about, and rack up on some more picks, assuming that you can get this ransom for Justin Fields? I think it's worth thinking about. I think it's worth thinking about. And the only reason why I say this worth thinking about, right? The only reason I even think about this being, conversation worthy. I forgot to set my phones up. Hold on. Hold on. She about to come in loud. Pause. Well, that's not pause because it's hold on. Let me just set the phones up. Hold on. Because y'all may have to call into the show today. You know what I'm saying? Here we go.
You are the only participant in the conference.
I know.
The recording has started.
All right.
All participants are muted.
All right. So if y'all want to call into the show, y'all know the number to call in. All right, cool. Back to it. So, what was I saying? The only reason that this my bad, y'all. Hold on. Now I'm loud. Hold on. Now I'm loud. Check. 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 Okay, we good. All right, we good. My bad, y'all. And the only reason we should be good. The only reason I even asked this question though is because I just went around and just asked different people how they felt, and everybody's not 100% on Justin Fields like that. Everybody's not all in on Justin Fields like that, right? There's a lot of people that think that, hey, Justin Fields is a dude that's relatively can be replaced. Like, he's a franchise quarterback, of course, but he can be replaced. This conversation could be the same conversation that we're having about Purdy and Trey Lance, right? If you just run with Purdy, how many picks can I get back for Trey Lance? How many picks can I get back for Justin Fields? I think this is an interesting conversation, and especially if you the Bears and you really value Bryce Carter, you just want to snatch him away from the Texans because this quarterback class ain't that good, and you may feel like Bryce is the only dude that's good in this class. I think it's an interesting conversation, man. Let me go ahead and turn my volume, get my volume back right, and we should be good to go. All right. I don't know, man. I think it's an interesting question, but if you asking Voch, I would try not to get cute because a lot of teams. I mean, you could trade back, get multiple first round picks, and those first round picks end up being like Jabril Peppers and David Njoku or some shit. You know what I mean? Like just because they first round picks don't mean that they're good picks. But anyway, moving on. Moving on. Bryce Young went to the Texans. All right, cool. We've seen that mock. That's probably what it's going to be in. This is where the mock gets a little bit interesting, right? It gets a little bit interesting because we've always seen Will Anderson as the consensus best edge. A lot of people have Will Anderson as the knockout best player. But take a look at Daniel Jeremiah's little detail here. Look at his little, not his paragraph, but his little why I did this pick explainer, right? He says first edge off the board over Will Anderson. Bro, you ain't got to put the question mark and the exclamation mark and the question mark. We get it. First edge rusher off the board over Will Anderson. There's a lot of love for Wilson around the league. His combination of size, length, and production has teams very intrigued. Oh shit, not intrigued again. Not intrigued again. I'm playing, man. I don't want no smoke, bro. I don't. Hey, yo, Chad, y'all think the Cowboys intrigued by Tyree Wilson too? Let me quit being messy. I don't hate nobody. Anyway, Tyree Wilson though, right? I do think there's something to the idea that Tyree Wilson, some teams can like Tyree Wilson more than Will Anderson, right? And this comes back to this question. Are you floor guy or are you ceiling guy or girl, person? Whatever. Are you floor person or guy sounds better. All right, cool. Y'all understand what I mean. Are you floor guy or are you ceiling guy? Right? Will Anderson, of course, has the much higher ceiling. The much higher floor. He's going to be ready to go right now. He's probably fresh out the box a better player than Tyree Wilson right now. You open up the box, you cut a hole in the box, you know what I'm saying? And he's ready. He's good to go. But some people, not me particularly, are ceiling guy to where they'll take a person that may not be a refined player like Travon Walker, but they got all the traits in the world. I would love to put up a poll about Travon Walker versus Tyree Wilson. That could be interesting, right? But these players got all the traits in the world, but they may not know how to play football just yet. Tyree Wilson, one of them dudes. Tyree Wilson doesn't exactly know how to be a great edge player just yet. But when people watch Will Anderson and they expect him to be drafted in this top 5 somewhere, there's something that they expect. And what they expect is an elite trait somewhere. I don't care how much y'all love Will Anderson. He's a very, very, very good player. Great player. I don't want to be mistaken because I know y'all would love to take my words and mix them up and do something with them, man, because this happens every year, right? Will Anderson is a really good player, but the one thing that he's missing is like one of those elite traits that make you think of a top 5 edge dude. You know, the Myles Garrett characters, you know, them Bosa kids, you know, them guys. The Micah Parsons guys, you know what I'm saying? Like there's something in them dudes that you look for when you think about taking a dude first overall or top 5 guy. Hell, Jalen Carter has some of those traits. He has elite traits, right? Will Anderson ain't got elite traits. Tyree Wilson got a whole bunch of them shits. I don't know if y'all ever seen Tyree Wilson or just seen film on Tyree. We ain't doing nothing else. Let me see something real quick. I don't know if y'all ever seen film on Tyree Wilson, right? Let's set up some film real fast. Hold on. I don't know if y'all have seen Tyree Wilson, but Tyree Wilson is a freak of nature with a piece of paper. You understand me? And let's see, we got some film on him. And look, when you cut the film on for Tyree Wilson, the first thing you notice. Hold on, here we go. I got y'all, chat. I got y'all. Hold on. Sick of this. Here we go. Hey yo, look. Can I get flames in the chat for doing this on the fly, please? Can I just get some kind of respect from y'all, please? Y'all don't mind? There we go. Okay, chat, if you've never seen Tyree Wilson film, right? And I told y'all on this front line, you had to guess which one is Tyree Wilson. Could you guess which one is Tyree Wilson? Like, if you just had to guess which of these characters, right? Which of these characters is allegedly supposed to be the best player or one of the best defensive linemen, one of the best edge guys in the draft. You know what I mean? If you had to guess, I cut the film on, right? I cut the film on to look at Tyree Wilson, and of course, I ain't gotta identify him. You can look at the film and see. Bro, I looked at Tyree Wilson, and the first thing I said was, bro, I created players on Madden that look just like him. I created players on Madden that look just like him. And we always hear, you know, people with the hyperbole and the, this is a player fresh out of Madden. They look at Micah Parsons and go, oh, Micah Parsons is a player fresh out of Madden. They only say that because Micah is strong, bendy, and fast. Like he's an all 99 guy. Motherfucking Tyree Wilson, number 19 here, in case you didn't know, the right defensive end. He's a character straight out of Madden because who else is built like this? Who else is built like this? It's Tyree Wilson, DeJuan Jones, and John Jones. Them the only humans built like this, right? And I don't want to show y'all too many plays. I don't want to show y'all too many plays because we might get a little copyright situation, right? But let me tell you what's so dope about Tyree Wilson, right? Let me just get into this perfect spot. And there's actually a film session dropping on this. I'm gonna do a film session on this, right? Let me tell you what's so great about Tyree Wilson. This frame right here. This is the frame. This, like, you can take this and hang it up somewhere. So when somebody says, Voch, what's so good about Tyree Wilson? I'm going to say he has natural abilities that the offensive line position is not used to dealing with. Right? Let me put me up here so I can explain this to y'all. And y'all can go ahead and call into the show. The number's right here. We'll go right back to the mock, right? Or the film. As an offensive lineman, and I know this because I'm an ex-offensive lineman, right? As an offensive lineman, you are powerful in two places. If your elbows are bent, you powerful. And if your knees are bent, you're powerful. Right? Why? Because with your elbows, you want to be able to extend. That's how you powerful. With your knees, you want to be able to explode. You want to be able to power clean. Powerful, right? If you go push a refrigerator, you don't push it with your knees straight and your arms straight like this. You don't push it that way. You push it with your knees bent and your elbows bent. That's how we're powerful as offensive linemen, right? Elbow bent, knees bent. Chat. I want y'all to tell me something as I go back to this film. Does the left tackle have his knees or his elbows bent? He don't. He does not. You want to know why his knees and his elbows ain't bent? Because Tyree Wilson is 6'8", and you almost got to make yourself tall to block him. But we're not allowed to make ourselves tall. He can make himself tall because he's leaning forward as an offensive lineman, right? As an offensive lineman, we got to have balance and stay square. We can't lean too far forward because you can pull a cloth and we'll fall down. We can't lean too far backwards because you'll just push us forward. You know, we'll just fall backwards or we'll just get bull rushed, right? So we got to have both levers. I don't know if that's levers, but both joints, my bad. Both joints got to be bent and we got to stay square. We can't lean forward. We can't lean backwards. Tyree has the advantage. Hold on. Tyree has the advantage, right? Because he can be straight, because he can lean, right? His arm doesn't have to be bent because he can extend. And when he extends to get you off of him, what does he make you do? What does Tyree make you do? He make you do this. He make you do this. He make you do this. You ever had a younger sibling and you played the hand on the forehead game and they couldn't get to you? You ever did that? Tyree Wilson does the you know what I mean? And if he can extend himself from you, you can't really get a grip on him because you're not long enough. And him being so tall, he makes you tall. So if you a tackle going versus Tyree Wilson, your best bet is to get low and keep your elbows bent. But the problem is you can't block him unless your arms is long. Or you got some kind of nuance to deal with long arm dudes. That's what's so special about Tyree Wilson. And I think that's why, hold on, let me go back to my mic here. That's what's so special about Tyree Wilson, for one. And for two, that's why it's so important that, well, for one, you have to have offensive linemen with arm length or like hand fighting technique or whatever. But two, some coach looks at that and go, yo, this dude can just beat people with body composition, with just the human that he, right? Imagine if I taught him how to control wrist. Imagine if I taught him how to extend on people. Imagine if I taught him how to punch people in the chest, step, dip, and rip. Imagine if I taught him how to properly use his swim move consistently. So when people see Tyree Wilson, they go, hey, that kid could be special because his ceiling is high, right? Because his ceiling is high. They look at Will Anderson and go, hey, man, Will Anderson is a really good player. He's a good player. He'll be really good. But if you had to pick which one of these dudes to be a like all pro every year up there with Myles Garrett type guy, your answer would be if Tyree Wilson reached his fullest potential, he could be one of those guys. I know I'm being long-winded right here, but I think that's why he's mocked here at number 3 overall, because teams are having conversation. Teams are really talking about this, and Daniel Jeremiah is talking about this. Daniel Jeremiah is talking to these teams that are talking about this. So I think it's worth talking about. All right. Appreciate y'all for tuning into my film and all that kind of stuff. Let's move on. If you enjoy the film, let me know. We'll just do some more of that shit. Not on every pick, but we'll to fully explain what I be thinking. Sometimes I will put some film up there. Right. CJ Stroud going to the Colts. Cool. Could be a foregone conclusion. All good. Reflect the Sun in the chat says, I'm taking Myles Murphy before Tyree. That's madness. That's madness. I respect your opinion though, but boy, I just don't see it in Myles Murphy, boy. But it is what it is. Will Anderson fell to number 5 to the 5th overall pick to the Seattle Seahawks. Cool. They up their defense. Hey, that's fine. That's what happens there. The Detroit Lions select Myles Murphy. I'd be mad as hell. I'd be mad as hell if my 6th overall pick got me Myles Murphy, bro. Not that I don't think Myles Murphy gonna be a terrible player. It's just that 6 overall, man. Like, bro, 6 overall a couple years ago got me what, Jalen Waddle or something? You know what I'm saying? 6 overall a couple years ago, man. Who was 6 overall last year, chat? Who was 6 overall last year? Let me look that up, man. Let me just see something real fast, bro. I got to see it. Just the past 6 overall picks, right? 2021 NFL draft. Who was 6 overall in the 2021 draft? Player selections. Let's see. No, okay, cool. Jalen Waddle was last year, so I'm talking about 22. Who was number 6 in the 22 draft? In the 22 draft, who was that? Akeem Ekwonu. Hey, I love Akeem Ekwonu. Or when he was coming out, I was a huge fan of him. Right, 6 overall offensive line, cool. Man, if you the Lions, you 6 overall, man, you get Myles Murphy, bro. And this is what I was saying too, right? This draft is really good if you're in the top 5, or it's really good if you like somewhere past 16 or something. You know what I mean? But man, for all these upcoming picks, that's pick 6 through 15, boy. Oh, it's a oh goodness. Let's see what happens here. Myles Murphy at 6, Will Levis at 7. That makes sense. I like the fact that the Raiders are gonna draft a quarterback. They get to throw the ball to like they have a good tight end. They got a couple good receivers over there. One of the best receivers in the league and another good receiver. You know what I mean? I love that. Luke Van Ness at 8th overall makes my ass itch. Chat, have y'all watched Luke Van Ness? Who I got on the phone here? Okay, Nick Gash over there. Okay, cool. Hang tight, Nick. Luke Van Ness at 8 overall makes boy. Can you imagine dealing with the idea that, okay, cool, we lost, right? We lost games. But hey, we get the 8th overall pick. And that turns into Luke Van Ness. But damn, Jeremiah hearing something. And look, I like Luke Van Ness, but not in 08. Peter Skoronski, I've been talking about him all week. 9th overall. I haven't watched cornerbacks yet, but I heard that Devon Witherspoon is a really good corner. So him going to 10th overall makes a little bit of sense. Cool. Paris Johnson, I like the player. He's another ceiling player, high upside player. He goes to the Tennessee Titans. No problem. Lewan tweeted on Wednesday that he is being released by the Titans. Oh, can he play left tackle? Never mind. But anyway, yeah. So the Tennessee Titans are clearly in the offensive line market. So yeah, get them boys. Paris Johnson Jr., high upside guy. I love his right tackle, DeJuan Jones, but Paris will have his time with the coaching. You'll love Witherspoon. Appreciate you. Voch, know this. Voch, you know this team messed this draft up. Yeah. Teams do suck at drafting, so I just can't be like surprised when this shit happens. So, Daniel Jeremiah has Jordan Addison as the first wide receiver off the board to go to the Texans. Interesting. I wouldn't think that Jordan Addison would be the first guy off the board, but chat, in this situation he is. So there we are. Broderick Jones, an offensive lineman that I like a whole bunch, goes 13 to the Jets. Now I feel like the Jets have tackles. I think the Jets got more tackles than they need for real. They even got a guard that can play tackle. So just continuing to add to this offensive line, I mean, I don't know, but I love Broderick. I hope Broderick is a guy that falls down a little bit, because I would love for my team to get him. Anyway, Christian Gonzalez, another cornerback that I have not watched but I heard good things about, goes to the Patriots. Cool. I heard a lot of good things about 3 tight ends in this first round: a Utah kid, a UCLA kid, and a Notre Dame kid. So, like I said, I haven't watched tight ends. I normally watch tight ends a little bit later, but Kincaid to the Packers, I'd have got him a wide receiver, but whatever. I've seen Joey Porter Jr. in passing. I will watch him a little bit closer when the time comes. It is what it is. Hang tight, chat. Let me go see something real fast. Let me go make sure. Gotta check on the front door. Hold on. We good. Kids getting out of school, had to make sure the door was open. Y'all know how it go. I fixed that mailbox so I know who been messing with it. All right, here we go. So yeah, tight ends and corners. I haven't watched them yet, but we will be watching them soon on patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. Darnell Wright at 17 overall is a shocker to me, but I love the player. Darnell Wright from Tennessee, right tackle, actually. Had a hell of a fight with Will Anderson. I don't want to say it made him look regular, but beat the shit out of Will Anderson. But I was thinking Darnell Wright was going to be like a day 2 guy. I thought Darnell Wright was going to be like a second round dude, something like that possibly, but Darnell Wright 17th overall. I don't mind it because some we always have to think about and account for is that quarterbacks and offensive linemen, tackles in particular, quarterbacks and tackles get pushed up the board. You know what I mean? So they get overdrafted all the time. So we'll see. The Detroit Lions, this is their second pick, they go quarterback Anthony Richardson. If I'm the Lions, and I just did what I did on offense last year, in my mind, I'm going into this draft to get 2 defensive players that can help me win today. Right? So in my mind, I'm thinking, man, go give me one of them corners, bro. And man, give me one of them nasty ass pass rushers or something like take the best corner up top, but then like take like Drew Sanders at 18 or something. I think that'd be a good help. I think the Lions are in a window to improve right now. And Jared Goff may not be the guy. Like Anthony Richardson is way more talented than Jared Goff. But is Anthony Richardson ready to play quarterback today or next year or next year? So what you'll have to ask yourself is, how much of a project is Anthony Richardson? Right? Anthony Richardson would come into an offense with DeAndre Swift, Jameson Williams, Sun God St. Brown. You know, they'll probably find a tight end in day 2 or 3 or something. Good offensive line. So, so just having a quarterback to just move into that offense, man, is cool. And you just get to roll your dice on a dude, man. But how far are you away from Anthony Richardson being good? Or if you even think Anthony Richardson's good in the first place. Chat, what y'all think? Chat? Let's see what y'all think. Let me scroll up a little bit. Voch got kids. Long story. I think it's a great fit. Kyle disagrees. Call in, Kyle. Lions should go edge and corner. That's kind of what I'm thinking, man. Like really build your defense, cause like, man, Jared Goff may not be a top 10 guy, but man, he's a dude that can go to the Super Bowl if everything's right. And they was almost a playoff team, honestly. The Lions are not picking quarterback. Goff basically Dak, but y'all not ready for that. Relax, Sam. I'd be sick if the Lions took Richardson over Bijan. The Lions got a good running back situation though. Let's see. The dude is absolutely useless and horrible. Richardson shouldn't be drafted until the 7th. That's mean. Goff is good but limited. I'll let Diggs walk cause in the grand scheme of things, we need still okay. That's somebody else. 3 years is a long time. Next year, second half of the season. So the second half of next year, you ready for Anthony Richardson? Because look, this is a playoff ready team. They just got to get better on defense, right? So in year 2, is Anthony Richardson ready for the playoff run? But chat, I'll tell you this. Cut my music off when I say this. I'm gonna cut my war call up real loud when I say this. And this may sound weird because like we know where these players are now, but I'm just speaking strictly from like draft research, right? If they can fix Jalen Hurts, they can fix Anthony Richardson. I ain't even ready for the pushback that statement gonna get, but whatever. Bijan Robinson to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I hate it, but whatever. Jackson Smith-Njigba to the Seahawks. They just gonna add another wide receiver. Seahawks add another weapon to complement Tyler Lockett and DK Metcalf. They don't want to draft defense to accompany that offense. Okay, all right, you say so. You say so. I will probably go get a pass rusher or a big dude on D-line, but it's cool. Quentin Johnston goes 21 to the Chargers. That breaks the heart of the Ravens. That's unfortunate, and it breaks my heart as a Cowboy too to see this. I wonder though, how does Jackson Smith and Quentin Johnston go to 20 and 21 when Addison is the first receiver off the board at 12? I don't see the drop off like that. Brian Branch, who's a safety really, but he's a cornerback sometimes. I guess he goes to the Ravens. Deontay Banks, another cornerback I'll be watching, goes to the Vikings. Brian Breesy, if you can get 2020 Brian Breesy. No. If you can get 2020 Brian Breesy, then yeah. Actually, if you can get 2020 Brian Breesy, that dude goes early in this draft. But it just depends on which Brian Breesy you got. So when Daniel Jeremiah right here says Brian Breesy battled through adversity, that's taken a bit lightly. Brian Breesy has gone through some shit. He's gone through plenty of it. But if you get the 2020 version of that dude, man, you got a gangster, you got an MFer. The current version of Brian Breesy that I saw in 2022 film is he's just an interior D lineman. He's just an interior D lineman, but that ain't my business. Jalen Hyatt goes to the New York Giants, 1 pick before the Cowboys. DJ hates it. All right, man. Keon White to 26. I look, man. Let me tell you something. Man. I wouldn't even.
The conference has been locked.
I wouldn't even diss Will McClay like that. I'm moving on. I don't even think Keon White's a 26 overall guy. I don't see that in Keontae White in Keon White. He's a power rusher, a speed to power rusher. Solid. I just think of him more of a guy that goes in the 30s somewhere or early 40s somewhere. I'm just not seeing it. Well, let me unlock the phone.
The conference has been unlocked.
Because it's still 343. I'm just not seeing it with Keon White. No, not seeing it. Osiris Torrance goes to 27 overall. I wouldn't. Sam says I'd rather Booty. No. Booty goes in the second round. And Cadoza, what's up, my guy? He says he said I like Andre Carter over Keon White. Well, there I disagree.
The conference has been locked.
Andre Carter is just good. But Osiris Torrance, cool. John Meyer. Is it Meyer or Mayer? We'll go Meyer. John Meyer got a 28th overall pick. He goes to the Bengals. The Bengals continue to add offensive weapons to their little situation. Zay Flowers goes to the Saints, and that makes me sick. Felix Uzoma in which I'm a huge fan of him from Kansas State. Big fan of him. Violent player, hands player, technique player. Love him. He goes to the Eagles. That just makes me sick, man. That just makes me sick. Do I see Felix going in the first round? For sure. And then my guy Nolan Smith. Now Nolan Smith better than damn Felix, but whatever. Because of Nolan Smith go to the Eagles, I'm gonna be even more sick. But Nolan Smith to the Kansas City Chiefs. End of the first round. I don't hate it, man. Good player. The Dolphins lost their pick because they had a conversation with Tom Brady and the Saints coach, the new Broncos coach, Sean Payton. They had a conversation with Sean Payton and Tom Brady and didn't get neither one of them. So there we go. Hey, I appreciate y'all for tuning into the draft. Let's get some calls, man. Let's see what y'all talking about. And we'll wrap this show up for the week. And I'll drop that Will Anderson film session I've been waiting to drop. Let's get into it. Let's get Nick Gashler on the phone. What's up, Nick?
What's going on, Botch?
Cool, my guy.
Interesting mock draft we got there.
Man, that mock draft was terrible, sir. Get this boy calling this shit.
Are they ever that good? Are they ever that good? Like, let's be honest.
Well, Nick Gashler, this is the world that we live in because teams suck at drafting. So I could say the mock draft trash, but the mock draft, the mock draft might be real. The mock draft might be real, but it is what it is, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I guess I start with Lucas Van Ness at 8, right? That just it makes my ass itch the way you said it. Because I like Van Ness. I think he's a cool little upside guy, but 8, I don't know about that one. Same with Peter Skronsky at 9, man.
Yeah.
I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
I would probably draft Skronsky 4th out of those tackles that we got on the board here. Maybe 5th over DeJuan Jones.
Sure.
But I think I really want to talk about Anthony Richardson right now. And I've kind of noticed because I'm sitting on Twitter every day, and I'm starting to see Twitter is starting to catch on to Anthony Richardson.
Mm-hmm.
And this is what I'm gonna wonder, because we see this kind of happen every year, where there's one guy that goes to the combine. It's like a guy he's in the mid first round. We saw this from Trayvon Walker last year, and he ends up as a top 5 or a first round or a first overall pick.
Mm-hmm.
Do we think that's going to happen with Anthony Richardson at the combine this year?
Anthony Richardson got all the arm talent to impress people at the combine, but can Anthony Richardson do the regular quarterback plays? That's the problem. Can he, how far can he live just off talent? So I think it depends on the coordinators that he goes to make things easy for him, even though things were pretty easy in Florida. You have to live in this less is more type of world with Richardson, and just kind of let his athleticism and his physical talent do the work for you. But he got more traits than Jalen Hurts, and if they can fix Jalen Hurts, if they can fix Josh Allen,
they can fix him.
They can fix this boy. That's just how I feel, man.
And my kind of thought process with that right now, especially with the Lions at 18, which I'm kind of confused about. I don't think we talk about how I love these rebuilds where we add all the pieces together and then we drop the quarterback in.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of what I'm looking at with the Lions. So I think you make a great point that if you add a couple more guys on defense, if you put a Drew Sanders into that defense,
man,
and then go maybe next year with that Rams pick, I think they still got from the Stafford deal, and take like a Caleb Williams or one of the quarterbacks next year, because it's like a quarterback class that's 7 deep.
Yeah.
You could, that might be a better option, but Anthony Richardson is really intriguing right there. I would not be surprised though, if by April that he's in that top 3 conversation.
Yeah, I don't mind it.
And he leaps over Stroud, he leaps over Young or whatever, and maybe Levis, and gets in that top 10 or top 3 conversation. I think we could see that. I think we could see that happen with Christian Gonzalez as well, the Oregon corner. People love his tape. I love his tape. He reminds me of my guy, Patrick Surtain. And I think Christian Gonzalez is going to be a guy that maybe goes in the top 10.
Actually, I just thought of something interesting, Will Gashler, as I pulled this mock draft back up, and it's totally slipped my mind while I was doing it, because man, you don't really remember the fight while you're fighting. You know what I'm saying? You got to really go back and watch the tape. The Lions drafted Anthony Richardson at 16 or whatever. Will Levis was available at seventh overall because he went to the Raiders.
Right.
But at 6 they took Miles Murphy.
Right.
Damn Jeremiah bullshitting, man. What he doing? What he doing? Making up shit, man.
He's a coward. If you can take your quarterback, take him to 6.
Yeah, and then just all right. I can actually make the argument. Hold on, wait, time out. You got Miles Murphy at 6 and Anthony Richardson at 16. Pardon me, 18. I can make the argument that you can get a better quarterback and pass rusher if you just switch. If you just take the quarterback at 6 and the pass rusher at 18, you can get better at both. Damn, Jeremiah sold, man.
Nolan Smith at 18. I'm cooling, man.
Jeremiah sold, man. That's all right.
Oh man.
All right.
But yeah, and then I think there's a lot of weird things like Brian Branch being classified as a corner. He's a safety to me.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Breesy, I don't think is going to go in the first round. But I mean, again, this is what we're hearing here in February. So we'll see. It's an interesting mock draft. There's a lot to go. I hate Zay Flowers at 29 because I think he should be a top 25 pick. But it is what it is.
Yeah. One last thing though. I'm about to ask you something, Nick Gashler. I forgot. Hold on, Nick Gashler. Let me just scroll down this thing real fast. I know you're not a big Miles Murphy guy. I mean, you a cool. You cool on Miles Murphy, but you're not a big Miles Murphy.
Yeah.
You're not big on Miles Murphy. I forgot what I was about to ask you, man. All right, cool. That's it. We'll just move on from there. All right, appreciate you, man.
Yep.
What was I about to ask Nick? I mean, he gone now, so I ain't finna ask him again. I don't know. I was gonna ask him about one of these picks. I was gonna ask him about Darnell Wright at 17 overall. That's what I was gonna ask him. I was gonna ask him about Darnell Wright. That's cool. Oh no, I was gonna ask Nick Gash about Darnell Wright, but the call dropped out.
Snake, are you okay? Snake?
Damn, boy, that call dropped on Nick Gash like that, man. What a shame. What a shame. What a shame. We got Shaq, the Vikings fan, on the phone. What's up, Shaq?
Hey, Voch, I'm going to make this quick. I just took a break at work so I could call in.
You been on hold for a long time. My bad, dog. I wish I'd have known.
No, it's all good. So I'm going to start off with so the Vikings offensive line, I feel like they're a little soft in the middle. As you could have seen when we played the Cowboys, I was getting that interior pressure like every down.
Mm-hmm.
So I need my offensive line to stop listening to A Boogie and Trey Songz, and they need to listen to real rappers like Biggie Smalls and Benny the Butcher. I need some goons in the middle. Secondly,
okay, my bad. Okay, so you need some guards or you need some tackles on your D line?
Not well on my offensive line.
Okay, so you need some guards. Okay, cool. I like the TCU kid. I'm not the biggest fan of Torrance from Florida, but Andrew Voorhees from USC is one of my new favorite guys, and I think you can get him in the 3rd or 4th rounds. He's fantastic. Now, I don't think there's a lot of guards this year. Like I just don't see there being a whole bunch of dudes you could just go find and just go get. John Michael Schmitz actually fits y'all perfect. He's from Minnesota, so I ain't really trying to pun intended there with the Vikings or whatever, but he's a dude that could play guard and center. You line him up, he'll be good. And Cody Mouch. So if you're looking for like physical guard, this a pretty good year to go get some, physical guards or whatever, you know what I mean? So you really can't miss as long as you get one that's good, If you get one that's bad, it's on you.
Yeah, and as I was tuning into your Patreon, if you're not following the Patreon, then you really can't make arguments about why this player is better than this player because you need to watch the film and don't listen to the leather networks because they're not giving you the sauce.
Appreciate you, Shaq. That is a glowing endorsement of my Patreon. Salute to you, sir. My Patreon, man, and my Twitch, really, like it's a totally different vibe than the live shows because it's really like we hanging out, and I really want the people that's in there to really like enjoy the time that we have in there, because whenever you have a platform that got a small number of viewers, man, the intimacy in that situation is always better. You know what I mean? It's always better because it's almost like we're talking amongst each other. But when these shows get big, it's just the people in the chat just become names and comments scrolling real fast, So when you get a chance to be a part of a small platform, enjoy it. And that's what Twitch and my Patreon is right now. So be sure to tap in with that. I was just about to go to D Shift, man. It's unfortunate. But let's go to DJ, see what he's talking about. What's up, DJ?
Hey, what's up, Voch? How you doing today, brother?
Cool, my guy. What you got for the show?
High at 25 makes me absolutely sick, but that's not why we're here.
Yeah, I know.
The one spot killed. One spot in front.
Yeah.
One spot in front. Really, are we serious right now?
Yeah.
But what I've noticed about Dennis Jeremiah and the different guys that do mock drafts is we look at it as egregious. Like, why do these guys go here? But what I noticed last year, and I wanted to see if it kind of rolled over before I make
Shouts out to Milk Manor.
But my theory that I'm experimenting with is that they'll get the position right, even if the name is wrong, because people trade and things move around and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But they're more tapped in with the teams themselves and getting their stuff from there. So yeah, they're looking at the guys, but they're also going off of what the teams and their inside connections are telling them.
Yeah.
So I can't prove that yet. I don't have enough proof to prove that, but that's my theory. And so a lot of these guys, I'm not necessarily defending, but when you see Miles Murphy in the top 10, which doesn't make sense to us because we're like, what film are you watching to come to that conclusion? It may just be because the teams that are drafting them, too, are bad drafting teams historically. So, that if that's who they want, then by all means.
Fair enough. Because if that's going to be the rule that we go by, then I guess he's hearing that Dallas is not at the edge market, right? Well, they're not going to be a part of the edge market, if that makes sense, or if the right edge is there. So it may not be Keon White, but if the edge that we like is there, then maybe that means that, I don't know, he heard something that has the Cowboys going edge. Because look, something that I have noticed in all these mocks, I don't see anybody talking about Cowboys going offensive line, and that's interesting. From the big names that are listening to the teams, it's always like, some wide receiver got there, some running back got there, or some corner or edge guy, or like Drew Sanders or something like that. But I haven't seen anybody talk about the offensive line like the Cowboy YouTubers talk offensive line. So I'm interested. I'm interested to see what the Cowboys really find valuable, and all these news and hints and reports coming out now. But y'all know after the combine, that shit's really gonna ramp up. So, hey, it's about to be March, so we'll see.
Well, for sure. And last thing I'll let you go is a lot of from what I get from the nation perspective on how they look at Cowboys, they think our offensive line is cool. Like, only us Cowboys fans are really hey, let's upgrade that offensive line and get back to being elite. But nobody's looking at it as a big enough need to go out and get a first round guy right now. They think we can get some auxiliary piece later down in the draft. At least that's what I've been hearing from Twitter or the other markets that I'm tapped into with the little bit that I am.
Fair enough. Appreciate you, DJ. Good call, man.
Yes, sir.
Boom, 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 boom. Boy, DJ will be on the phone, and then while he on the phone talking to us, he'll be in the chat putting just putting jokes in the chat, putting comments in the chat, man. Like DJ really does this engagement thing, man. Appreciate you, bro. Chris, what up?
Yeah, what's going on, Voch? How you doing, bro?
Cool, my guy. What you got for the show?
Hey, quick question. So jokes are supposed to be funny, right? Like true jokes are supposed to be funny, right?
Not all of them, but that's the goal. Yeah, for sure.
So then why is this joke going around about Rihanna's unborn baby being in the Super Bowl before the Cowboys?
Oh, well, jokes and low hanging fruit. You know how it go.
Yeah, I feel you. Hey, a few quick questions. Whose tape is better, Osiris Torrance or Tyler Smith last year?
Tyler for sure, because when I was watching Tyler, I at least had confidence that he was very powerful and that he can maul people and take people to the sideline like that. Like, my whole thing about Tyler was Tyler at tackle. But if you sold me on Tyler at guard, we saw plenty film of him digging dudes out of A-gap or taking people and pushing them off film. So in my mind, Tyler had much better film than Osiris Torrance or whatever.
Okay, so John Michael Schmitz at 26. Do you think he'd be there in the 30s if the Cowboys like him? And if you think he'd be there in the 30s, would you trade back?
I think John Michael is a little early for 26. He may be a 40s guy. He may be a 50s guy. It depends on what happens with wide receiver, corner, and some of the edge guys. Like if teams value like the Ojulari guys or the Andre Carter guys, that second tier of pass rushes where they really started to run them up the board. They run those wide receivers up the board. If there's early runs on both of those, then I can see a world where John Michael falls to the 50s, possibly.
And last one, Kawaja Kancey. Do you think he's more so like a second round guy or second or third round guy?
I'll tell you what, man. I do look at him as a day 2 guy, but boy, like if you just listen to Twitter talk about him, Kawaja Kancey, 3-tech from Pittsburgh, number 8. Man, you listen to people talk about him, man. You'll think it's Aaron Donald, man. You'll think and I'm tired of every Pittsburgh dude or every Pittsburgh 3-tech being Aaron Donald, man. Man, Kawaja Kancey a cool player, man. He's a good player, bro. But that dude ain't Aaron Donald. And I don't even see him being like a first round dude for real. But yeah, he might be a day 2 guy somewhere in day 2.
Yeah, because he to me strikes me more of like a situational pass rusher. Like I don't know if he could play 3 downs for you at 3-tech.
He can use his hands and punch and stack and shed, but he'll have to change up some of his game. But he's a cool player. I love his hand technique and his hand fights, but that sometimes that just goes away. So I just think there's a lot of questions that comes with Kancey. If you watch a highlight tape on him, you'll think he's fantastic, but he's a cool player.
Okay, yeah, definitely. All right, Voch, I'll talk to you, bro.
Appreciate it, Chris. Chat, what y'all thought about Kawaja Kancey, defensive tackle, 3-tech from Pittsburgh? What y'all think of him? Because I just see and boy, when Cowboy Nation find out about somebody and they go, ooh, Voch, you got to watch this character that somebody said we got to go watch. Voch, you got to watch him. You got to watch him. And in real life, I'm going to watch everybody anyway. But the early response, preliminary response I got on him, you know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, Kawaja Kancey, solid player. Pretty good with your hands, but boy, you just got this fanfare. Like people was calling you Aaron Donald, man. I got questions, man. I need to see more, but I don't know, y'all. Y'all know how it go, man. Remember that one year everybody was telling me to go watch Jalen Twyman and I was sick of him within 5 minutes? Man, come on, man. Y'all know how it go, man. 605, what's up? Who this? 605.
What's good, Voch?
What's happening with you?
This Bill. I'm not sure if you're seeing me on the chat, but I've been waiting here. I just wanted to ask you about the Tyree Wilson and Anderson. If Tyree Wilson tests bad at the combine, do you think that maybe he could fall in the 20s and stuff?
I don't think Tyree falls to 20s, but I think if he does bad at the combine, I think that's half of what people are expecting from him. I would say like they want him to be the athletic, bendy, fast, quick guy or whatever, right? So if he shows up and we going, all right, is it Will Anderson or is it Tyree Wilson? Everybody expects Tyree Wilson's 3-cone and shuttle drill and all that. They expect that to be better than Will Anderson's because that's just the player profile that it is. But if it's bad, you can still lean on tape, right? Because if he's slow at the combine, just go back and watch the tape and see what you see on tape or whatever, right? So I think if he has a bad combine, I don't think he falls to the 20s or anything like that. He'll probably make it a 10, 12 or something.
Yeah, he's like 290 or something like that, 280. So
sure,
his 3-cone will be relatively fast. You can't compare it to someone who's 240 pounds and stuff.
Sure. Fair enough. Is all you got?
And I want to ask you, is it too much if you take Anthony Richardson at 5 let him sit behind Geno Smith.
If they fix Jalen Hurts, they can fix Anthony Richardson, guys. That's how I feel. Appreciate you, man. Good call.
That's right.
Dog, man. Anthony Richardson at 5, boy. Ooh-wee. It's going to be some slow singing and flower bringing, you hear me? Who getting fired from their job? Anyway, I appreciate y'all for being here, man. Let's read some of these supers. I'll tap in with the chat, see what that looks like. Boy, if people got questions about Geno, they got questions about Anthony. But anyway, let's see what we got here. I'll hit refresh on this. Okay. Is that a film session? Hold on. What is this? Is somebody else talking about Anthony Richardson? That ain't us. This ain't our show. Who else talking about Anthony Richardson? Anthony Richardson, first overall pick NFL draft. Deion. Oh, okay. That's Aaron Murray show. Okay, cool. That ain't us. I'm about to say, who the hell said that? All right, y'all. We good on supers, man. Y'all have anything in the chat? Y'all got anything y'all want to ask before we leave? I got a little time. I got a few. I got a few minutes. We started the show early so we can end on time. You feel me? What y'all got? Y'all got anything? If y'all ain't got nothing, we can dip out, man. You know how I go. We can go. Long story, Toxic Tom. Long story. Long story. Have I watched Keanu Bennett from Wisconsin? Nope. It's February 23rd. I got a little bit of time. For the month of, and I do think I'm on time with this because I try to get the first round done, early, January or whatever. And I've done that. February, I try to get day 2 out the way. So by the time I get to March and April, we really gonna get day 3 guys out the way. So I got to wrap up my corners, for my first 2 days or whatever. Corners and, my linebackers or whatever. Tight ends. I guess I got to watch tight ends. I guess y'all making me watch tight ends this year. Then after that, we'll be on to some day 3 guys. Voch, who are you most interested to see at the combine? I'm not. Dog, whoever good at the combine just gonna be good at the combine. Anything else? Jackson Smith-Njigba is smaller and has those injury concerns, but with a good combine, he may be able to jump out past Quentin Johnston or Addison potentially. Well, Grant, I have to watch tight ends because apparently there are 3 tight ends that could be first round guys, and it's a pretty good tight end class. So I should probably watch tight ends to do my due diligence. Yes, Tamara, we are twitching tonight. Indubitably. That's it. Well, Danny, the phones are locked and I'm not unlocking them. Once they lock, they stay locked. Twyman says he dropped 5 in super chat. Appreciate you. He says, are folks saying number 2, number 3 ranked guys' names due to the reality of certain folks won't be there at 26? Are folks just saying number 2/number 3 ranked guys' names due to the reality that certain folks won't be there come pick 26? Are folks just saying number 2 ranked guys' names due to reality? Due to reality that certain folks won't be there come pick 26. Okay, so is that like Cowboy fans saying, hey Voch, you think shit, okay, hold on. Are folks just saying number 2, number 3? Are folks just saying number 2 or 3 ranked guys names? So there should be a comma behind guys, no behind names. Okay, so are folks saying number 2 and number ranked guys names, comma, due to the reality that certain folks won't be there come pick 20? Oh, okay. Are you saying that Cowboy fans are have high expectations over dudes that'll be there? But hold on, what'd he say? Hold on. But due to the reality that certain folks won't be there come pick 26. Like, are we hoping that, okay, so like dude on the phone, that's what he's saying. Okay, I got you, Twine. He says dude on the phone was like, yo, Voch, is Tyree Wilson gonna be there? Is he saying Tyree Wilson gonna be there? Like, is he saying Tyree Wilson gonna be there hoping because Quentin Johnson ain't gonna be there? Or because Jackson Smith-Njigba ain't gonna be there? Boy, this one was rough, dog. Boy, that question was a rough one. Okay, hold on, wait. He says, are folks picking Gibbs because Bijan won't be there? Or saying Hyatt won't be there because, or saying Hyatt because Smith-Njigba won't be there? Got you. No, I think Gibbs is definitely a dude that qualifies for 26 overall. Jalen Hyatt might be one of the earliest guys to go off the board because of his speed. So Jalen Hyatt could be a dude that goes higher than Jackson Smith-Njigba. Jackson Smith-Njigba, he's not going to be a dude that's going to test as well as the other guys. Johnson, Hyatt, and Addison are going to test way better than him. So you'll probably got a better chance of getting Jackson Smith-Njigba than Jalen Hyatt. But as far as the whole Gibbs thing, Gibbs is if I'm Cowboys at 26, I'd be having a conversation about Gibbs. I would see who's on the board, but I'm having a conversation about Gibbs. You good, Twime? You good, bro? Some pretty good content out of it. Voch, is it too unrealistic to trade for Max Crosby? Yeah, I think so. I think that's all we got, chat. Somebody said Voch frazzled. Kyle say Voch is frazzled. Not frazzled. All right, y'all. That's all we got for the day. Man. Hold on, man. We got a little drop from Marcus Harrison, man. We got a Marcus Harrison drop, man. Hold on, man. Let me get right, man. Marcus, we've been praying for you on the daily, man. We've been thinking positive thoughts, you know. So, hey, man, you ain't gotta have no pressure to, you know what I'm saying? Brumley. No pressure, Marcus. Come back when you're ready. You hear me? We love you, bro. We love you and your family. You feel me? Bobby Wagner's been released. Is that real? Okay, hold on. Let me read Marcus Harrison quote, because if Bobby Wagner got released, I'm gonna just have a har of a laugh. I'm gonna have a har of a laugh. Oh, you will get a smattering of laughter from Voch Lombardi if Bobby Wagner is really released. Hey, hold up, Marcus. Hey, yo, Bobby. Your goof ass should have came to Dallas in the first place. But your dumb ass went out there chasing that money. But them boys ain't having fun. You know what I mean? They tried to write them fake checks, you hear me? I thought it was fuck them pics, you hear me? They tried to write them little fake. They tried to pay Bobby Wagner with a post-dated check. You should have came to Dallas in the first place with your goof ass. Hey, we'll still take you though. But that price gonna have to come down, cuz. Bobby Wagner going out there to LA. Then sign that goof ass little contract. No, he wasn't finna get all that money. Knowing Bobby wasn't finna get all that money. Man, let me get back classy, bro. I wish Bobby Wagner would try to get $50 million. $50 million? Who you think you kidnapped, Chelsea Clinton? Boy, you better take that $38 a year and sit down somewhere and get that money and make a little run. Anyway, Marcus Hardison says, at the volume, it's not me and Will Steele because it's just me. So that's Voch when he says this. So at the volume, right? At the volume, small-minded people blame others. Average people blame themselves. The wise see all blame as foolishness. Come on, man. Small-minded people blame others. Average people blame themselves. Wise people see all blame. That's fantastic. Wise people see all blame as foolishness. Peace to Brother Voch for being the latter. My apologize for missing shows. Lying sleep outside UNLV. Swati Cop. Appreciate you, Marcus Hardison, man. Appreciate you, sir. It ain't no problem. It ain't no problem. Don't even worry about it, my guy. We love you to peace, man. This home, bro. You can come back whenever you're ready, man. You know we thinking about you and yours. We saying positive thoughts about you and yours. You already know how it go, man. We sending some good energy to you and yours. All right, cut that shit out, man. All right, cut that shit out, man. I guess if I had to give a couple minutes on this Bobby Wagner thing before I leave, if I had to just assume to give myself a couple minutes on this Bobby Wagner thing, you know, should we give Stephen Jones a little credit for this? Yeah, they say it was a mutual, you know. Now I guess I would have to watch a little bit of film to really see what Bobby Wagner did last year, right? But Stephen Jones said, bro, I'm not finna give you all this money that you wanted, though. Should we give Stephen Jones some credit? Right? Like, I understand you gotta you have to make room somewhere. And to be fair, Bobby Wagner would be much better than Anthony Barr was this year, right? Maybe. But when you know, Stephen Jones said, "Yo, Bobby, we'd love to have you, man, but that price is that price is particular. That's a peculiarly high price for you, Bobby Wagner. Like, can we work that down a little bit?" And Bobby said, "I want this big ass bag that I'm about to get from somebody. Can you match that?" Steve said, "That's too high for me, bro." So in real life, if Stephen Jones offered Bobby Wagner 1 year, $10 million, and the Rams offered Bobby Wagner 5 years, $50 million, man, your ass might as well been came to Dallas and got that 1 year, $10 million. Bobby Wagner. Listen, man, I'm gonna really sleep over this and give y'all a proper take on this in the morning, right? But if this means anything, bro, this means Bobby Wagner probably got a wake up call on what his real value is, especially if it was a mutual thing, right? Because the Rams looking around, the Rams might be a bad team for a long time because the Rams out here saying F them picks, so they don't really have a foundation for their team to lean on. They're really just top of the roster guys, right? Hey, man, we're going to get the best 6, 7, or 8 guys. We just going to roll with that, with just miscellaneous people as the base of our team. So when the money gets really tight, Matthew Stafford making a lot of money, Jalen Ramsey making a lot of money, Aaron Donald came out of retirement, alleged retirement, to make a lot of money, and you Bobby Wagner trying to get 5 years, $5 million, man, somebody lying, bro. Somebody lying, bro. So I got questions. Is this more of a Ram thing or is this more of a Bobby Wagner thing? Toxic Tom says Rams got a Super Bowl. It was worth it. They ain't get it with Bobby. But I understand your sentiments, though. So, we'll see what the business is. I'm gonna do more and research a little more. I'm gonna ask Will Steele what he thinks about this. We're gonna laugh at this, but I don't think it's a coincidence that the Rams have moved on from Bobby Wagner. We've heard all this conversation about Jalen Ramsey and things like that. And look, bro, it ain't like the Rams gonna go out and draft somebody this year to help with their team building. Boy, the Rams are gonna be very interesting in the next couple years. Whatever. Love y'all to pieces, man. Be sure to follow me on Twitter, VOCHLOMBARDI. I might make a little joke about this. My Twitch, my non-football platform, twitch.tv/Voch Lombardi. Tap in with us today. We're gonna be playing Hogwarts today. So come through, man. Chill with us. And we may be talking about the future UFC fight. You know what I mean? John Jones, Cyril Gane is gonna be the next big one. So we may be watching John Jones fights between like next week sometime. We'll be doing that. That'll be fun. Twitch is going to be very lit next week because I'm going on break from Volume next week. So be sure to tap into that. Patreon.com/Voch Lombardi is where we watch the film as a whole. I've been putting together, clips to really present the wide receiver film that I want to dole out to y'all. So next week, the next film session, definitely we're going to be watching Isaiah Foskey. And we're gonna get into a lot of these wide receivers, so y'all can so y'all can really see those guys. And after that, we'll be watching corners, and we should be caught up on the important, first and second round guys. All right. Will Steele ain't here, but I love him to pieces. So be sure to follow Skywalker Steele on social medias at Skywalker STEELE, and his show is A to Z Dallas in the morning, 8:30 to 10:30. But he ain't gonna be going live over there next week neither because vacation, but y'all go follow him over there anyway. Love y'all to pieces, man. Y'all hold down for the Dosey Woes and Peace Whiskey, man. I ain't got an outro, so I just kind of say bye and hit end stream and shit. So you know what I mean. Let me just go back to my solo. I'll just go volume, and I'll just say bye. Bye.